Most people think a blood test simply tells you what's wrong, that you just show up, give your sample and wait for the results. But the truth is, what happens before the test often decides what the results will say. Small mistakes, often made without realizing it, can make perfectly healthy people look unwell or hide real problems that need attention. Doctors see this all the time. Seniors walk in with strange reports, worrying numbers, and unnecessary panic when in reality, it was never their body that was off. It was the preparation. Imagine this. You've been feeling fine, or just a bit tired maybe, but nothing alarming. You go for a routine blood test, and when the results arrive, your glucose is high, your cholesterol looks bad, and your liver markers are all over the place. Suddenly you're anxious, cutting out foods you love, taking new pills, maybe even doubting your body. But what if those numbers lied? Not because your blood changed, but because you drank your morning tea before the test, or skipped your water, or took your regular supplements that morning. It sounds harmless, yet these small acts can shift your readings more than you'd believe. That's the quiet danger, not the illness itself, but the misread signs that lead you down unnecessary paths. Many seniors make these mistakes simply because no one told them the rules have changed. The body at 60 or 70 doesn't respond like it did at 30. Metabolism slows, digestion lingers, and medications interact differently. A small cup of tea, a banana, or even brushing your teeth with mint toothpaste can alter results enough to confuse doctors and create false alarms. It's not your fault. It's the system's silence. Nobody ever explained how to truly prepare your body before letting a needle draw the story of your health. Now, let's talk about the 3 most common mistakes, the ones even the smartest, most careful seniors unknowingly make before their tests. The first is eating or drinking anything except water. Even a sip of tea, coffee, or juice can send sugar, insulin, and fat readings swinging. The second mistake is taking regular morning medications or supplements before the test, especially things like vitamins, iron, or blood pressure pills. Many of these alter your blood chemistry temporarily, making your numbers look worse or better than they really are. The third is not drinking enough water. This one surprises most people, but mild dehydration thickens your blood, leading to higher concentration readings, like sodium or urea, and making it harder for the nurse to draw your sample properly. Why does this matter so much? Because those numbers don't just sit on paper, they shape decisions. A small mistake can lead to unnecessary medication, panic, or misdiagnoses. And when you're older, your body deserves accuracy, not confusion. Preparing correctly means giving your doctor the clearest window into your true health. It's not just about rules. It's about respect for your time, your effort, and your years of care. So here's what to do next time. Drink plenty of water the night before and the morning of your test. Avoid food, tea, or coffee for at least 8 to 12 hours unless your doctor says otherwise. Skip your morning supplements and most medications until after your blood is drawn. Just confirm this with your physician first. And most importantly, rest easy, knowing you've done your part to give your body a fair voice in that report. Because the truth is, your blood doesn't lie. It whispers. But if you want to hear what it's really saying, you have to listen with care, patience, and proper preparation. Don't let small oversights speak louder than your body's truth. With a little awareness, you can turn a confusing report into a clear reflection of your real health. And that's what every senior deserves. Not fear, not false alarms, but clarity, peace, and confidence in the story your body is trying to tell. Your blood tells the truth only when you let it. When you eat or drink before a blood test, even something small, like a cup of tea, a biscuit, or a handful of fruit, your body begins a quiet cascade of changes that ripple through your bloodstream. Every bite or sip triggers a biological story. Enzymes wake up, hormones shift, and cells start moving energy from one place to another. Glucose rises in response to even a small taste of sweetness. Insulin follows to balance it out, and fats from your meal begin to float through the bloodstream, waiting to be stored or used. These are not signs of sickness, they're signs of life. But when you arrive at the lab in the middle of this natural chemical activity, your test results capture a moment that doesn't truly represent your body's calm, resting state. It's like trying to take a still photograph of a running stream. What you see is movement, not reflection. Inside the body, this process is beautifully complex. When food enters your mouth, your brain instantly signals the pancreas to release insulin, and the liver to prepare for nutrient processing. Within minutes, glucose levels climb, sometimes doubling in just half an hour, and fatty acids begin their slow release into circulation. Your blood, once steady, becomes a messenger of activity. Doctors call this the postprandial phase, a period when your body is busy digesting, distributing, and rebalancing. During this time, readings for sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, and even certain hormones like cortisol can appear dramatically altered. For seniors, these shifts can seem alarming because the metabolism works more slowly with age, meaning those changes last longer in the bloodstream. There's an invisible wisdom behind fasting before a test. It gives your body the stillness it needs to speak clearly. Think of your blood as a mirror. When you eat, that mirror fogs up with steam, not permanently, but enough to blur what's real. The act of fasting and 8 to 12 hours of gentle pause allows that fog to fade. What remains is an honest reflection of your internal balance. This is what doctors mean by baseline. It's your body at rest, showing its true chemistry, unshaken by digestion or recent activity. I once met an older gentleman named Amir, who had always prided himself on keeping his health in check. One morning, before a routine test, he had his usual cup of tea, no sugar, just milk, and thought nothing of it. When his results came back, his blood sugar was flagged as borderline diabetic. Shocked, he spent weeks worrying, changing his diet, even cutting out his evening fruits. But when his doctor retested him under proper fasting conditions, everything returned to normal. It wasn't a disease, it was the echo of his breakfast. What Amir learned that day wasn't just about tests. It was about patience. The body tells the truth, but only if we give it silence before it speaks. Modern research echoes this quiet wisdom. Studies in the Journal of Clinical Laboratory Analysis show that even minimal food intake can alter glucose readings by 10 to 20% and lipid results by nearly 30%. This means that a simple sip of coffee or a small piece of bread can turn a healthy result into a false warning. Scientists explain that these fluctuations happen because your cells, especially in the liver and muscles, are temporarily flooded with new energy sources. They release stored fats and sugars into circulation to maintain balance, a healthy process that just happens to distort the lab's lens. In the end, fasting before a blood test is not a restriction. It's an act of respect for your body's language. You're not depriving yourself. You're creating a space for clarity. You're allowing your blood to rest, to steady itself, to show the quiet truth that gets hidden behind everyday rhythms. Just as a calm lake reflects the sky more faithfully than one stirred by wind, your fasting blood reveals your health more purely than when it's stirred by breakfast. In those few hours of stillness, your body isn't waiting. It's preparing to tell its most accurate story. Hydration is the hidden key to accuracy. Most people underestimate what a single glass of water can do. They think hydration is just about quenching thirst, but in truth, it's the silent force that keeps your entire inner world in balance. Before a blood test, when your body is even mildly dehydrated, your blood subtly thickens. It moves more slowly through your veins, carrying fewer oxygen molecules and concentrating everything it contains: sodium, urea, glucose, even red blood cells. To a lab machine, that looks like imbalance. To your doctor, it can look like a sign of stress on your organs. But to your body, it's just a gentle whisper saying, "I need water." Water is not simply liquid. It's a messenger. Every cell in your body relies on it to transport nutrients, remove waste, and maintain electrical stability. When hydration drops, even by a small percentage, your blood volume decreases. The kidneys respond by holding on to more sodium to preserve fluid, which can raise your sodium readings. Your liver slows its detoxification rhythm, temporarily increasing waste markers like creatinine and urea. It's a natural adaptation, your body trying to protect itself, yet it changes what your test results will say. Scientists call this hemoconcentration, when the liquid part of your blood, plasma, reduces, making everything else appear falsely elevated. There's also a subtler effect that often goes unnoticed, the way dehydration affects oxygen transport. When blood thickens, red cells struggle to flow smoothly, which means tissues receive slightly less oxygen. In older adults, where circulation is already slower, this can lead to fatigue, lightheadedness, or simply feeling off. The same mechanism can alter how your hormones and electrolytes are read in a test. What looks like an imbalance might just be the echo of dryness. Studies in clinical biochemistry show that people who drink 1 or 2 glasses of water an hour before their test not only give easier samples, the needle flows smoothly, the draw is quicker, but their results are significantly more consistent and accurate. I remember a story of a woman named Layla, a retired teacher who took pride in staying organized with her medical checkups. She once arrived for her lab appointment after skipping breakfast and unknowingly skipping water too. The nurse struggled to find her vein, and when the results came back, her kidney markers were elevated. Her doctor looked concerned, ordering further tests for possible renal strain. A week later, Layla returned, this time well hydrated, calm and rested. The numbers told a completely different story. Her kidneys were fine. She was simply thirsty. That moment stayed with her. "It's amazing," she said, "how something as simple as water can change how the body speaks. If you think of your blood as a river, dehydration is the slow drying of its flow. The water that once carried oxygen and nutrients effortlessly now moves heavier and slower, leaving behind concentrated minerals and debris. But just as a gentle rain can restore a parched stream, a few glasses of clean water can restore your inner current." Before a test, drinking enough water is not about filling your stomach. It's about allowing your blood to breathe. Hydration also supports another quiet process: cellular communication. Each cell sits in a microscopic bath of fluid that helps transmit electrical signals, balance acidity, and maintain the structure of proteins and membranes. When this environment becomes even slightly drier, cells can't communicate as clearly. This affects not only metabolism, but also how hormones and enzymes are released into the bloodstream, the very markers your test measures. It's no wonder that proper hydration creates smoother, more stable readings. So when you think of water, don't think of it as a casual habit. Think of it as tuning your body before it speaks to the world. Drinking water before a blood test isn't a rule to follow. It's an act of alignment. You're helping your cells, your heart, your kidneys, and even your breath work together in harmony. In that clear, flowing state, your blood no longer strains to reveal your truth. It simply shows it, clean, balanced, and calm, just as nature intended. Not every pill belongs before the needle. Not every pill belongs before the needle. It's one of those quiet truths few people talk about, not because it's unimportant, but because it hides in the space between routine and awareness. Every morning, millions of seniors reach for their medicines and vitamins, faithfully keeping rhythm with the day. That simple act, the clink of pills, the sip of water, is a sign of care, of responsibility, of consistency. But on the morning of a blood test, that habit can become the reason the results no longer reflect the real you. What looks like a change in your health may simply be the temporary echo of what your medication just did inside your bloodstream. When you take any pill, whether it's a vitamin, iron supplement, thyroid medicine, or blood pressure tablet, your body begins to adjust instantly. The liver starts to metabolize the compound, hormones shift in response, and certain enzymes rise or fall to keep balance. These fluctuations are normal, even healthy. But if your blood is drawn during that active window, when your body is still reacting, the readings can look distorted. For example, taking biotin, vitamin B7, commonly found in hair and nail supplements, can interfere with thyroid tests, making hormone levels seem dangerously low or high. Iron tablets can temporarily raise ferritin and hemoglobin, masking anemia. Even simple over-the-counter vitamins like vitamin D can alter calcium readings for several hours after being taken. At a biological level, this happens because medications and supplements change the chemistry of your plasma, the liquid part of your blood. Think of plasma as the background canvas against which all other markers are measured. When that canvas suddenly fills with a new wave of compounds, proteins, or minerals, it shifts the tone of the entire picture. Enzymes the liver releases to process these substances, ALT, AST, or alkaline phosphatase, can momentarily rise. Blood pressure medications like beta blockers can lower heart-related readings or distort sodium and potassium levels. It's not illness, it's activity. But machines can't see intent. They only measure reaction. I once met an elderly woman named Parveen, a retired nurse who took great pride in understanding her health. Before one of her annual checkups, she followed her usual morning routine: thyroid pill at dawn, multivitamin after tea, and then went straight to the lab. When her results came back, her thyroid hormone levels appeared severely off balance, prompting her doctor to adjust her medication. A month later, she returned, this time fasting properly and skipping her pills until after the test. The difference was striking. Her thyroid function was normal. She hadn't changed, the timing had. Parveen smiled softly and said, "I didn't realize my body was just still speaking from the pill I'd given it." Modern research supports her story. The British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology notes that pausing non-critical supplements before fasting labs can reduce false readings by nearly a third. Doctors emphasize that it's not about skipping essential prescriptions, it's about coordination. Some medicines, like those for heart disease or diabetes, must never be delayed without a doctor's approval. But most vitamins, herbal boosters, and mineral tablets can safely wait until after your test, giving your body a few quiet hours free from chemical input lets your blood find its natural rhythm, a calm, resting state that reflects who you are beneath the medicine. Think of your body like an orchestra. Each supplement or pill adds a new instrument, sometimes gentle, sometimes loud. When all those sounds play at once, the music is complex and beautiful, but hard to interpret. A fasting blood test, though, is meant to record the stillness before the song begins. It's the quiet hum of the body's baseline melody. When you pause for that moment, you give your doctor the purest version of your music, unblurred by the notes of pills or powders. So the next time you prepare for a blood test, remember, skipping your morning supplement isn't neglect, it's wisdom. It's your way of giving science a clear view of your truth, unshaken by the temporary waves of what you took that morning. Because sometimes, the most accurate measure of health doesn't come from doing more. It comes from letting the body breathe undisturbed, long enough to reveal its quiet, steady rhythm. Your body is always trying to tell the truth. Every heartbeat, every breath, every test result is part of its quiet conversation with you. These small, careful steps, fasting before a test, staying hydrated, pausing your morning pills, may seem simple, but they open a window to your body's real story. They're not rules to follow perfectly, but gentle habits that bring clarity, peace, and respect to your own health journey. With every mindful choice, you help your body do what it's designed to do: repair, balance, and restore. So don't rush. Healing doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence. Begin today, not with worry, but with calm confidence that every glass of water, every moment of awareness, every act of patience moves you closer to your best self. The body remembers your care. It rewards your consistency, and with time it learns to trust your kindness again. Stay with us for the next chapter. More simple truths, more ways to help your body thrive. Subscribe, breathe, and keep walking gently forward. Your story of health is still being written, and it's already becoming beautiful.